Let's see what the card for this video is. Today I bring you the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords is a card of learning. It's somebody who is not quite an expert, but they are really busy trying to figure out and understand a concept, which is kind of perfect because I'm about to teach you some beginner level astrology. So let's go, shall we? My name is Naomi. I'm your cosmic companion and everyday alchemist. I'm here to make astrology accessible, fun, and relatable, and something that you can use every single day to make your life a little bit better. Today, we're gonna talk about angular houses. Angular houses, angular houses. What the hell is that, right? Well, what if your birth chart isn't just some static zodiac wheel, but it's a map of a video game that you were born to play? Angular houses are your main quests. They are the places in your chart that you can look to figure out what you were born to do in this world, what the theme of your life is going to be, and really who you fundamentally are. First of all, let's back up. What are houses? Have you heard of houses? Maybe. If you're a budding astrologer, you probably have. In astrology, houses are like the zones on your game map. They explain where in your life the action happens. There are 12 houses in your birth chart. There's 12 zodiac signs too, but these are different. They're numbered 1 through 12. So you have 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and so on to 12th house. Each house represents a different place in your life. So for example, the 1st house is your identity, your sense of self. Your 4th house is your home, where you're from. Your 7th house shows your relationships, and your 10th house shows your career. There's 12 of them, but that's just a couple of examples. And when you were born, the moment you were born, right, you get your date, time, location, that all triangulates to show where was the sun rising in the moment you're born, and that's your rising sign. The rising sign is where the game begins. That's where the whole game board is set up, right? It's from that rising sign. Then you'll have perhaps different planets in each of these 12 houses or 12 zones on the game board. And those signs and planets are telling you what's happening in each of those zones. Let's get back to this concept of angular houses. Angular houses, again, they're your main quest. They really set the stage for who you are, where you're from, what you're doing. Using game analogy, the 1st house, it's like when you set up a game, it's your avatar creation. You're gonna see your look, the way you are presenting in the world, your personality, your vibe, and maybe your signature moves, right? Maybe you're a kung fu master or like a diva or something like that. That's all gonna show up in that 1st house. That's really showing who you are. The 4th house at the root of your chart is your home base. This is your sanctuary. This is your roots. This is your origin story. It's your ancestors. It's your home. It's where you live now, and it's also where you came from. And if you want to get really woo-woo about it, it can also be the signature of your ancestry, right? Where you're really from, deep, deep, deep. Then across from your 1st house, you have your 7th house. This is, let's call it co-op mode. This is where your signature relationships are located. Are you married? Do you have a fantastic business partner? Do you have difficulty with relationships? Who can you call at midnight? Those are the people who are going to be showing up in your 7th house on your birth chart. And it can also describe some of your rivals or enemies, but we don't need to necessarily look at enemies. Let's focus on our friends. And then you have your 10th house, which is at the top of the chart, opposite your 4th house, right? And that 10th house is your career. It's how you show up in your world. It often kind of gives you a clear understanding of how you operate in your career, in your public facing self, in what you're doing in this life. So those are the 4 axes. Those are the angular house axes. Who you are, where you're from, who you know, and what you do. So again, these 4 houses shape the plot of your life. They kind of give you a key understanding of how and where your story unfolds and how you might choose to play the game. So let me just give you an example from my own birth chart. I am a Libra rising, so that means my 1st house is Libra. and Libra is the zodiac sign of relationship and trying to make sure everybody's feeling peaceful and getting along. So if I had to create an avatar for my first self house, it might be like a bit of like the peacemaker, right? Which was actually a role I've played a lot in my life. Or the diplomat. That would probably be even a better avatar role. My 7th house across from that is an Aries, which is a fiery sign. It's impulsive, it's action oriented, warlike. So you might see from my chart, depending on where the planets are, and I could tell you more, but just generally speaking from the house perspective, the diplomat is born and she must compete and fight in her biggest, most important relationships. And so that would be kind of like beginning to tell you the storyline of my life, which is actually not far from the truth. In fact, it's very on the nose. That's kind of where it begins. If you go ahead and put a comment in this video and say what your rising sign is, I could maybe give you an idea about your avatar, the little self that you are here to be. And we can even talk about the 4th and the 7th and the 10th houses and kind of how that's showing up for like who you are the moment you were created or generated in this game. All right, y'all, that was fun. Next time, we're gonna talk about succedent houses. These are your loot zones. They're your magical upgrades. It's where you get your resources when you're on this journey. It could tell you if you're gonna be financially independent. Some people, you can see that pretty clearly, or if you're going to be a collector of rare items, all sorts of fun stuff. So again, drop your rising sign in the comments. I'll give you a clue about your avatar in your starter mission. And if this has given you a new way to see astrology, I ask that you go ahead and hit subscribe. I'm still learning. I'm still getting comfortable on camera. It's in my chart that I have to do this. So I would love it if you would join me and become a part of my constellation, and let's learn astrology together.